What is good with y'all? It's your boy Chris, and we're back on Spurs Spotlight with another banger.
Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Alright team, today we're going to be getting into the San Antonio Spurs season awards. Now, I know it's very early for the 2025 season awards, but hey, I want to give my little prediction now. And maybe before the season starts, I'll give out another one. But for sure, at the end of next season, we're going to do the official award list. So this is just a prediction. And at the end of the season, we're going to have our official list. Or maybe you guys could help me vote. Y'all go ahead and leave y'all's predictions down. And we're going to see where we maybe agree and disagree. So y'all go ahead and let me know. Let's talk some ball in the comments. We're going to have 6 categories just like our regular NBA season awards. We're going to have MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man of the Year, and Clutch Player of the Year. So without wasting too much time, I think we can go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start off with the obvious one, the MVP. We all know who the MVP of the team is going to be, and that is Victor Wembanyama. From the start of the season, everything is going to be ran through Wemby. The offense, the defense. Pop is making an emphasis on giving the ball to Wemby. That's why we got Chris Paul. Wemby is going to be the focal point of this team. For his projected stats, I'm going with 26 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game. I didn't know where to put him on there because he's a great passer, but I went with 5.5. I thought that was the most fair. 1.5 steals and 3.9 blocks. I know this sounds like a lot, but you got to keep in mind he's not going to be on a minutes restriction like he was last season. And he was still putting up monster numbers. So you can imagine what he's going to do whenever he gets let off the leash this season. Accolade prediction, I think he's going to be a first-time All-Star this season. He's for sure getting Defensive Player of the Year. And my prediction is he will be All-NBA third team. Now, we will have to win more games for him to get All-NBA third team. But I think he'll win enough. He'll be putting up crazy numbers to where he has to get that nod. Now, Defensive Player of the Year. If Wemby's going to be winning it for the entire league, pretty sure we know who our Defensive Player of the Year is going to be on the Spurs. So I did a runner-up. I kind of excluded Wemby from this award. I was stuck on 2 players, Stephen Castle or Jeremy Sohan. At first, I was kind of thinking maybe since Stephen Castle's going to be coming off the bench, I'm going to give it to Sohan. But then I was like, Sohan's going to be playing next to Wemby, so he's going to get overshadowed, although he does guard the premier wings of the league. I ultimately gave the nod to Stephen Castle. Now, year 2 Castle is by far going to be the best defender on the team, not named Wemby, but it's kind of closer this season. I don't really know. My prediction, I have Castle, but I could also see if you have Sohan. I'm not going to argue on that. He's going to be the point of attack defender coming off the bench at first, because I don't think he's going to be starting this season. Once he does get into the starting lineup and you have Castle on the perimeter along with Wemby in the back guarding the rim, that's an insane look defensively. And I don't know how teams are going to score on that. Castle being a point of attack defender on the bench is crazy, but once he gets inserted into that starting lineup, he's going to look even better. I do think he's going to be the best perimeter defender day one because Sohan sometimes does struggle guarding the quicker guards. This is where Castle's coming into play. Now, we don't have to take Sohan off of the wings to guard the guards because now we have a point of attack defender as a guard in Castle. So I for sure think he's going to be the best perimeter defender as a rookie, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and give him the Defensive Player of the Year. When you look on paper, Sohan, Wemby, and Castle, that's one of the best defensive trios in the league on paper. I'm not going to say just straight up because, of course, continuity plays a factor, but on paper, that defensive trio is top 5 for sure. Rookie of the Year, of course, Stephen Castle. I don't think another rookie is going to get major minutes like Castle is. So with his stat projections, I went 11 points per game, 3.7 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals. If you didn't notice, those are awfully close to his college stats, which I'm pretty sure are going to be pretty identical. I don't think he's going to have a crazy role in scoring this first season, but he is going to ball handle and facilitate the offense a little bit, so he's going to get his shots for sure just by facilitating alone. He's going to start off on the bench. As Pop said in that interview in the Summer League game, he's going to get better as he gets more minutes, and I think he's going to earn his minutes really quickly because I think Pop is going to love Stephen Castle. He's a dog. He gets after it on the defensive end, and I think that's where he's going to earn most of his PT. It's going to be kind of like Blake Wesley in a sense where you can't take him off the court because his defense is just so good, and then his confidence is going to grow, and then the offensive side is going to just come along naturally. But like I said before, he's going to rely on the defensive end to get his game going. Next, we have Most Improved Player. With this one, I don't know if y'all are going to like it, but I went Julian Champagnie. My reason for choosing Champagnie is because he spent the whole season starting. He was guarding starting caliber wings, and this was really his first whole season playing. That is a lot of experience coming from a player who was just in Summer League last season. Now with the Spurs having a little bit more depth, him coming off the bench is going to be great for him because he's gonna look more confident, which there's a lot less pressure on him coming off the bench compared to last season when he had to do a whole bunch more. Now we're asking him to play his actual role, and I think it's going to be a great look for him. He's going to be a really good 3-and-D coming off the bench, but I also think he could get downhill a little bit and do a little bit of slashing. We've seen him throw down some monster dunks, so I think that's an underrated part of his game. Also, his defense. He's not the greatest defender of all time, but he's not a liability on defense. He could for sure hold his own, and like I said again, the experience of him starting all last season is going to help him when he's coming off the bench. My projected stats for Champagnie this season, he's going to go from 6.8 points per game to 8.7, 2.8 rebounds to 3.2, 1.4 assists to 2, and then 3-point percentage, 36.5 to 39%. I do think he can be a 40% 3-point shooter in his career. Keep in mind, he's only about 23 years old, so there's a lot of room in his game to be improved. But I have a lot of faith in Champagnie. He reminds me kind of like a Danny Green, although I don't think or know if he'll ever be as good as Danny Green. I can see the resemblance in their game. Sixth man of the year, Keldon Johnson. I know Keldon Johnson was all on the trading block, but I do not think he's going to get traded. I actually think Keldon Johnson's going to do better this season. I think he'll have around the same stats, but he's going to be better because he knows how to play with Wemby now. Coming off that first season, he didn't really know how to play. The whole team didn't really know how to play next to Wemby. And it might have took Keldon Johnson just a little bit more time to grasp exactly how to play with him. Keldon knows his spots. He's also thrown some nice lobs to him in the second half of the season. So I think he's going to adapt a little bit more like the other players have. Second, he knows his role a little bit more. That was the first year of him coming off the bench. His second year coming off the bench, I think he's going to grasp a little bit more of what he has to do, his responsibility on this team. Pop obviously has some more time to talk to him, teach him, show him his role. It gives him a chance to buy into his role. Well, if he doesn't, then I do think he's going to have to be traded, but hopefully he does. And lastly, he's going to be surrounded by more defenders. With Charles Bassey coming back healthy, he's more of a rim protector. And we drafted Stephen Castle. He's going to be coming off the bench with Keldon. I think when you put defenders like that next to Keldon Johnson, he won't stand out as much. Last season, we really didn't have defenders like that, and that's why you would see Keldon Johnson often get blown by. And last but not least, clutch player of the year. Again, I got Wemby. As we know, his stats towards the fourth quarter just skyrocketed. It was also with the eye test. As soon as it hit the fourth quarter, where it seemed like Wemby was not missing. He meant business in the fourth quarter. I think he was one of the league leaders in fourth quarter points. But since that is kind of the obvious answer, again, I got a runner-up, and I'm going to go Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell is going to get a lot of good looks because the majority of defense is going to be focused on Wemby. We saw this all last season. Even though Wemby was a rookie, he was getting double and triple team. So Vassell is going to be kind of not forgotten, but attention is going to be taken off him, and that's going to help him score, especially in the clutch. He's the solidified number 2. I think Vassell knows his role, and he's going to buy into it very well. There's nothing wrong with being a Robin, but you just got to accept that you're a Robin. And I think Vassell is going to have no problem in trying to make Wemby's life easier. He's going to get his buckets when he can, and he's going to dump them off to Wemby when he's open. So their two-man game is just going to grow as it is. And in the clutch, it could end up being unstoppable. And lastly, Chris Paul is going to instill confidence in Devin Vassell. One of the things people didn't really point out is Chris Paul is not only going to help Wemby and Sohan, he's also going to help Devin Vassell. Chris Paul is going to see the talent in Devin Vassell, and he's just going to take him to another level. The pick and roll game, I know we saw a little bit of the two-man game in Wemby's rookie season with Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama, but Chris Paul is going to take Devin Vassell's pick and roll game to another level, as well as knowing how to pass out of it or just score. Devin Vassell is going to take a huge leap, and it doesn't have to be statistic-wise. It could just be from the eye test. We're going to see a whole nother Devin Vassell, and I feel like he's going to come up big in the clutch for us this season. So there y'all have it. There's my Spurs NBA award predictions. Like I said before, y'all leave y'all's down below and we'll kind of compare ours. As always, y'all make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Spurs Spotlight to get y'all Spurs news here. We drop all the bangers y'all need. But other than that, it's me and boy Chris, and I'm out. Peace.